Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is doing well. Today I have 4 Reddit stories for you guys. Credit goes to the original posters of these stories, and I'll link them in the description. I still don't know what that was. When I was in high school, I always was walking around my town at night, whether it be with friends or by myself, and was supposed to be home around 9. I lived in a pretty small neighborhood where there was often a lot of sketchy people walking around at night, so I never took the same route home at the end of the night. One night when I was 14, I was walking past this old historical building that used to be a hotel, and it's just kind of creepy. As I was walking, I got a phone call from an unknown number. My friends and I were always prank calling each other, so I answered it. The voice was really deep and honestly scared me because it didn't sound like anything my friends could try to mimic. But I figured it was a prank, so I was looking around as they're saying creepy stuff like, "I'm right behind you. I'm watching you." There was literally no one there. The cars were all just the ones that were always there from the few people that lived on the street. And it was a very open street with not a lot of places to hide behind, and anyone could have been watching me without me seeing them. I hung up and kept walking, thinking it was one of my friends, when I got another call. Just like before, a weird voice, but this time was laughing. I was trying to figure out who it was, but I got annoyed, so I hung up again, thinking one of my friends would own up later. Then my phone rang again, but then I went to answer it. My phone wasn't ringing, and it sounded like it was actually coming from the bush next to me, which was too small for anyone to be hiding in. I didn't have one of the regular iPhone ringtones. It was a specific one I had bought, so I knew it was mine. I booked it and ran home. I texted all my friends, telling them whoever it wasn't funny. None of them owned up to it. And when I thought about it, I never took the same way home or even went home at the same times. So no one could have planned that. And with the ringtone and everything, none of it made sense. To this day, I don't know what it was, but anytime I'm home and I drive past that building, I think of it. Anyone have any thoughts on what that could have been? Don't worry, I have more women there. I'll start by saying English isn't my first language, not even my second, so apologies for any grammar mistakes. This happened 5 years ago when I was 19. I was studying in a college town and sharing an apartment with Emma. Emma was a year older than me, and even though we didn't know each other before becoming flatmates, we quickly became friends. One day she told me she had to go to the art school where she was studying to bring home some pieces she needed to work on. She told me she could use an extra pair of hands, so I went with her. The school is located on a small square in a pedestrian zone. We went, grabbed what she needed, and left. We were heading out of the square and towards our apartment, distracted by the conversation, when Emma taps my shoulder. I look at her and she points to our right. "There's a man there. He's recording you." I turn my head and there he is, a man in his 40s, pointing at us with his cell phone. He wasn't even trying to hide it. I immediately start walking in his direction, and Emma follows me close behind. "I know you were recording or taking pictures of us, and I want you to delete it right now." He started laughing and pretending not to speak my language. "Okay, no worries. I'll repeat it in English for you. Delete the damn video." He laughed again and told me he wasn't doing anything wrong. I was having none of it. My blood was boiling at this point, and with the rush of adrenaline, I snatched the phone out of his hand. I opened the gallery, and of course, there I was. A video mostly zoomed in on my chest area. Not that it matters, but I was wearing a top without a bra. I delete it, and before he appears, what seems to be a similar video of other women. Before I have time to react, he snatches the phone again, looks at me with a grin on his face, and tells me, "Don't worry, I have more women there." I was very shaken up, about to burst into tears, and decided to just turn around and walk home with my friend. In hindsight, I know this could have ended badly for me. He could have gotten violent when I took his phone, but part of me regrets not smashing it on the ground when I had the chance. And there's an edit. A few months after this encounter, it made it to the news that a man had been recording women on the street of my city and uploading them to porn sites. I will always wonder if it was the same man. Next one is called, Can Someone Give Me an Explanation for the 3 Knocks I Heard on My Bedroom Door? I, 25 female, live alone in a 1-bedroom flat. My bedroom is on the top floor. Kitchen, living room, and bathroom are down a flight of stairs. The front door is down another flight of stairs. A couple months ago, I woke up, went on my phone for a bit, and then decided to get up. Before I moved to get up, I heard 3 distinct, clear knocks on my closed bedroom door. I remembered that the estate agent said that I was due to have an inspection soon and assumed it was them. I couldn't be bothered to deal with them and found it weird that they just let themselves in without ringing or anything, so I pretended to be asleep and didn't respond. I waited. No more knocks. But I also didn't hear anyone walking away down the stairs and didn't hear anyone entering or leaving my flat. As I was lying there waiting for them to leave, I realized that I had locked myself out several months ago and to have the lock replaced and hadn't got around to taking a set of the new keys to the estate agents. I was obviously very freaked out at this point. I forced myself to get up after a while. I really needed to pee, and no one else was in my flat. I've asked friends and family, and they were all as freaked out and confused as I was. Anyone have any explanations, because I'm stumped? I think my roommate is a vampire. This sounds idiotic, right? Everyone knows vampires aren't real, but hear me out. It started about a year ago when my old roommate decided to move in with his girlfriend without any warning. His name was on the lease too, and I could have just forfeited my half of the deposit and found a cheaper place. But that's really hard to do on short notice, especially in the middle of a semester. So I put out ads everywhere I could think of online and around campus for a new roommate, not really expecting much. To my initial delight, I got a nibble within a week. She was a quiet grad student who'd had some sort of falling out with her own roommate and needed a place to land. Perfect, or so I thought. She moved in and covered her half of the expenses when bills came due at the start of the next month. It looked like I managed to dodge a bullet, and maybe in my relief at not being evicted, I ignored a few signs I should have picked up on. You see, almost never saw my roommate. She stayed locked up in her room most days when I was home, though I occasionally bumped into her watching something on our shared TV late at night. Her explanations were reasonable. Night shift work as a medical intern, sleep schedules, all that seemed legit. She was really weird about mirrors, though. She doesn't have a single one in her room, which is odd for a girl, nor does she ever keep any food in the fridge. She doesn't have any cookware. She never has friends over. All of these things I could write off somehow, if it weren't for the dreams. You see, I keep having this reoccurring dream about once or twice a month. I wake up with her perched on the corner of my bed. In these dreams, the room is utterly black. I sleep with blackout curtains drawn because of an obnoxiously bright street lamp outside my window. But somehow I know she's there. I never say anything to her. She just slithers under the covers with me, and her body is cold. Then she talks to me in a low voice, speaking words I can never seem to remember in the morning, and she kisses my neck, and that cold feeling explodes through my whole body. Then I wake up. That's it. I know, it's freaky. I'm always a little groggy and lethargic after I have one of those dreams. Thirsty too, like working in the hot sun, sweating like a pig all day thirsty. And the chronic fatigue has gotten only worse. After I fainted at work one night, my boss insisted that I make a doctor's appointment. Guess what they found? Anemia. My family has no history of anemia, none. The doctors can't explain it. They just put me on a regimen of iron supplements and called it good. I've tried to ask her to move out, but whenever I talk to her, I always seem to forget the purpose of the conversation and get sidetracked on something she wants to talk about instead, and then I go to bed, having forget about the whole thing until the next time I have one of the dreams. I think I might be losing my mind, either that or my roommate really is what I think she is. I want to move out. I've even packed my stuff up a couple times, only to wake up the next morning with everything back in its place, wondering if I only dreamed about packing. One night, I just got in my car and drove as far as I could before sleep got the better of me and had to pull off the highway. The next morning, I woke up parked at the curb outside my apartment. I'd write that one off as weird dream too, if it weren't for the credit card statement that has me getting gas in town about 3 hours drive from where I live on the night in question. That could just be credit card fraud, except I know that it isn't. I've tried telling people about what's going on, but no one ever believes me. Family, friends, they all think it's some kind of joke or a hallucination on my part, especially after they meet my roommate. Everyone likes her, even though she's weird. Even like her, though I'm scared to death of her. I find myself waking up in the middle of the night lately with the insane urge to go out and talk to her. I know where she'll be. I can hear the TV turned on low, volume in the other room. Some nights I succeed in resisting, but most I end up getting up and sitting with her until near dawn when she heads to bed. It's gotten to where I can't force myself to tell people about my fears anymore. Even writing this all out on an anonymous form is hard to do. When I think about including any personally identifying details, though, I can't make myself do it. My fingers simply refuse to type that information out. I don't think I'd be able to write as much as I have, except that I think my feeble attempts to get away amuse her somehow. I can't escape her anymore. I need help, but I know no one is going to help me. I feel like I should just accept my fate. One of these nights I'll be the one perched on her bed, then it will all be over. I know it somehow. I won't want to escape then. I'll be completely hers until I'm dead, or maybe worse. I've written my story out 3 times now, and each time I've found some reason to delete it rather than posting. I'm not going to hit discard this time, though. I will not do it. If you're reading this, please try to find some way of helping me. I don't know how you do it. I can't know. If I actually believed that someone could, I don't think I would be able to write this much. I want to delete it, but I'm going to hit post before I talk myself out of it again. Thank you for listening. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and liking my channel, and I will see you on the next one.